Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a look at a really transformative book, Satya Nadella's Hit Refresh. It's all about how he completely reinvented one of the biggest tech companies on the planet.
All right, let's get right into it. And this is so much more than just another business book. It's this really personal story about how a totally new way of thinking, you could almost say a new soul, was breathed into Microsoft, right from the very top. So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll look at the leader's core philosophy, how he refreshed the culture, some amazing quotes to lead by, his vision for what's next, and then, of course, our final verdict.
Okay, first up, a leader's core philosophy. And really, to get what happened at Microsoft, you have to start with the leader himself. For Satya Nadella, it all boils down to one incredibly powerful idea: empathy. I mean, this quote right here, it's the absolute heart of the whole hit refresh idea. Nadella makes it super clear that empathy isn't some fluffy, soft skill. No, for him, it's the actual engine of innovation. It's what lets you see what people really need, even when they can't tell you, and then build stuff that actually helps. And this isn't just a corporate buzzword for him. This focus on empathy is deeply, deeply personal. It comes from his experience with his son, Zane, who had cerebral palsy. Seeing how technology, even simple things like an app made by high schoolers, could give Zane freedom and happiness, well, that completely changed Nadella's perspective on what technology is even for. So the big question is, right? How do you take something as personal as empathy and turn it into a company-wide movement? Well, Nadella went straight for the biggest challenge he had: changing Microsoft's internal culture, which, let's be honest, was known for being pretty rigid and, well, combative. And this comparison here, it just nails the shift he was going for. He had to get the company to move away from this know-it-all culture, you know the type, where everyone in a meeting is just trying to prove they're the smartest person in the room, to a learn-it-all culture, a place where curiosity and, get this, learning from your mistakes were the things that truly mattered. So how'd he actually do it? It wasn't just about sending out a few memos, that's for sure. He took real action. He started a massive company-wide hackathon to get people from different departments talking and creating together. He started celebrating managers who learned from their failures, not just the ones who always hit their numbers. The whole system, top to bottom, was rebuilt around the idea of learning. All right, next up, we've got 5 quotes to lead by. These are some of Nadella's own words that really capture the core principles behind this whole transformation. First one up, this really shows you where that learn-it-all idea comes from. It's from his dad. Nadella talks about how his father, who was a civil servant in India, taught him that passing a test wasn't the finish line. Nope, it was just the ticket to get started on learning even more. Okay, this next lesson comes from a pretty unexpected place: the cricket pitch. He tells this story about a player on his team who was brilliant, but totally selfish. The guy refused to make an easy play, and it cost them the game. That experience really stuck with him, teaching him that a leader's real job is to make the team look good, not just themselves. Now, this one is a huge rethink of what leadership even is. It's not about being the person with all the answers. Instead, Nadella says a leader's most important job is to create clarity, to take all the noise, all the chaos flying around, and find the one true signal in it all. And then communicate that clearly so everyone knows the way forward. This quote? Whoa, this was a massive seismic shift. I mean, the old Microsoft was famous for one thing: trying to absolutely crush its competition. The new Microsoft? It partners with them. Just picture it: Satya Nadella on stage showing off Microsoft software on an Apple iPad. It's all about what's best for the customer, even if it means working with a rival. And the last quote here really redefines what it means to be a global company. It's not just about parachuting in and selling your products. Nadella argues that your job is to actually contribute to the local communities, to help them grow, create opportunities, and build something that lasts. Okay, so with this new culture clicking into place, Nadella points the giant ship that is Microsoft towards the future. So what does that future look like? What are the big bets they're making on the next computing revolution? He lays out 3 massive pillars for the future, and they're all connected. First, you've got mixed reality. Think HoloLens, blending the digital and physical worlds. Then there's artificial intelligence, but with a twist. It's about augmenting what humans can do, not replacing us. And holding it all together is the intelligent cloud, this enormous global platform that connects everything. But here's what's cool. The book isn't just some tech utopia fantasy. It gets real. It asks the really tough questions, like what happens to jobs when AI gets better? How do we make sure these systems are ethical? The whole hit refresh idea isn't just about the tech itself. It's about figuring out its place in our society.
So we've looked at the man, the culture change, the vision for the future. What's the bottom line? Let's get to our final verdict on hit refresh.
Okay, here's our take. The real strength of this book is how authentic and personal it is. You really feel like you're hearing from the guy in charge. It gives you this incredibly clear roadmap for how to change a massive culture, and it's got a really thoughtful vision for the future of tech. The only thing to remember is, well, it's his story, right? It's definitely coming from a Microsoft first point of view, and it doesn't apologize for it.
So if there's one big lesson to take away from Hit Refresh, it's this. Real change, the kind that actually lasts, doesn't come from some fancy new gadget or a slick business strategy. It comes from getting back to basics, to core human values like empathy and curiosity. It's about a fundamental refresh of ourselves.
So, for its incredibly powerful story, for giving real actionable advice on leadership, and for its surprisingly human approach to technology, our final grade for Hit Refresh is a solid 8.5 out of 10.
And hey, if this book got you thinking and you want to dive deeper, we've got a couple of recommendations. You absolutely have to check out Mindset by Carol Dweck. It's basically the Bible on the whole growth mindset idea. And then there's the classic, The Innovator's Dilemma by Clayton Christensen, which explains why even great companies can get left behind.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. All these ideas, empathy, being a learn-it-all, creating clarity, they're not just for CEOs of giant tech companies. The real question is, how can you use them to hit refresh in your own work, your own team, or even just in your own life?
And that's our deep dive into Hit Refresh. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're into these kinds of explainers that break down the big ideas shaping our world, make sure you follow and subscribe. We'd love to have you back.